Proclamation of General Bonaparte, 19th of Brumaire, 11 o'clock at night. On my return to Paris, I found a division reigning amongst all the constituted authorities. There was no agreement but on this single point, that the Constitution was half destroyed, and could by no means affect the salvation of our liberties. All the parties came to me, confided to me their designs, unveiled their secrets, and demanded my support. I refused to be a man of any party. The Council of Elders invited me, and I answered their call. A plan of general restoration had been concerted by men in whom the nation is accustomed to see the defender of its freedom and equality and of property. This plan demanded a calm and liberal examination, free from every influence and every fear. The Council of Elders resolved, in consequence, that the sittings of the legislative body should be removed to Coup, and charged me with the disposition of the force necessary to secure its independence. I owed it, my fellow citizens, to the soldiers who are perishing in our armies, and to the national glory, acquired at the price of their blood, to accept this demand. The councils being assembled at Coup, the Republican troops guaranteed their safety from without. But within, assassins had established the reign of terror. Several members of the Council of 500 men, armed with daggers and firearms, circulated around them nothing but menaces of death. The plans which were about to be developed were laid aside, the majority was disorganized, the most intrepid orators were disconcerted, and the inutility of every wise proposition was made evident. I bore my indignation and my grief to the Council of Elders. I demanded of them to ensure the execution of their generous designs. I represented to them the maladies of their country from which those designs originated. They joined themselves with me by giving new testimonies of their uniform wishes. I then repaired to the Council of 500 men without arms, and my head uncovered, such as I had been received and applauded by the elders. I wished to recall to the majority their wishes, and to assure them of their power. The daggers, which threatened the deputies, were instantly raised against their deliverer. 20 assassins threw themselves upon me, and sought my breast. The grenadiers of the legislative body, whom I had left at the door of the hall, came up and placed themselves between me and my assassins. One of these brave grenadiers, named Tom, had his clothes struck through with a dagger. They succeeded in bearing me away. At this time, the cry of outlaw was raised against the defender of the law. It was the ferocious cry of assassins against the force which was destined to restrain them. They pressed around the president, threatened him to his face, and, with arms in their hands, ordered him to decree me out of the protection of the law. Being informed of this circumstance, I gave orders to rescue him from their power, and 6 grenadiers of the legislative body brought him out of the hall. Immediately after, the grenadiers of the legislative body entered at the pas de marche into the hall and caused it to be evacuated. The factious were intimidated and dispersed themselves. The majority, released from their blows, entered freely and peaceably into the hall of sitting, heard the propositions which were made to them for the public safety, deliberated, and prepared the salutary resolution which is to become the new and provisional law of the Republic. Frenchmen, you will recognize without doubt in this conduct the zeal of a soldier of liberty and of a citizen devoted to the Republic. The ideas of preservation, protection, and freedom immediately resumed their places on the dispersion of the faction who wished to oppress the councils, and who, in making themselves the most odious of men, never ceased to be the most contemptible. Signed, Bonaparte. Countersigned, Berthier.